Hello, everyone. Can you guys see us and hear us? Okay, just check. Four people are already watching. Nice.
Are we live?
Yes, we are. Okay, just waiting for someone to confirm that audio, video are fine, and then we can begin. Nobody has confirmed yet. Hello, Love More Chinwada. Nice. So, what we can do is switch account. Chat. Hey Alberto, it's fine. Okay, let's start. Welcome back, Faris bhai. After a long time, right? We did at the very beginning of this channel, we did 6 episodes, work hours with Faris. That's now a
Yeah.
podcast. But yeah,
I remember
since
it was in 23, sometime in 2023.
yes, that's when the channel also started, April of 2023. So yeah. So Salit says, hi there from Cape Town, South Africa, 7:52 a.m. here. Thank for the session, being looking forward to it. Welcome. Thanks for waking up so early for us. But yeah, what's the plan?
Okay. Uh, so for the past few weeks, I've been working on improving the
Mm-hmm.
text editor component.
Mm-hmm. So let me know
Uh,
once you want to share the screen so I can switch on screen sharing.
oh, sorry. I thought my screen was shared.
No, you can share it here. I think cool. Now it is here.
I am sharing my screen now.
Yep. Guess screen share transition. Yes. Your screen is visible now.
Okay.
And we are on ui.frappe.io.
Yes.
Cool.
So I've been working on this text editor component
Mm-hmm.
because it is a, I think, integral part of game plan.
Mm-hmm.
Writing, I mean, you spend 80% of the time writing in game plan, so
Mm-hmm.
text editor has to be really good.
Yep.
And initially, I mean, I was not very confident in uh, improving this because most of the functionality of the text editor, which
Mm-hmm.
is again built on TipTap,
Mm-hmm.
is through extensions.
Hmm.
So I spent a good amount of time understanding how these extensions work,
Mm-hmm.
and I gradually got comfortable with it. And TipTap again is built on Mirror, which is an excellent toolkit to build a really good uh, text writing experience.
Mm-hmm.
So that is That is the gist. So today
Mm-hmm.
we are going to build something that doesn't exist in game plan,
Mm-hmm.
which is selecting. So basically in game plan, you write the first post and then people can comment on it.
Hmm.
Most
So
of
we
the
can give a
time, people.
brief, maybe for new audience, we can say what game plan is and what Frappe UI is.
Okay,
Just in short, maybe um, you can give a gist of game plan, and then I can.
maybe pull up
Yeah.
the GitHub repo also. So it's a uh, internal discussions platform. So we at Frappe use it day in and day out. Frappe is a distributed team. Not everyone visits office. Not everyone is at the same place at the same time. So most of the discussions, most of the announcements uh, happen on game plan. So if you don't visit office, even then you can catch up to what is happening in the company. So game plan is an integral part of how we work. This is a tool built for distributed remote teams that prefer async communication than synchronous. So yeah, that's a gist. We
Mm-hmm.
can see on the home page, you can see feed of discussions. Uh, so people share their work updates or announcements, or if they went on a trip, they summarize their visit, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a post that I wrote when after I w- improved some of the features in the text editor. So I
Mm-hmm.
added some implemented better image uploading, and there's an image viewer as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember creating an issue for this way back
Yeah.
because on phones, right? The screenshot, usually what we do is share screenshots, and screenshots are not visible on phone, so it's better we can zoom it. So now it is there.
Yes.
Nice.
Let me see if I can upload some pictures. Okay, so it doesn't allow me to upload multiple, so that has to be fixed. But I will drag and drop it. So
Nice. So
this
this is
image
the image
viewer,
viewer. Mm.
when you upload an image and you can click on it and you can browse through. If there are multiple images, you can also add a caption.
Hmm. So this is all inside the editor itself.
Yes, let me upload another image.
Yeah, that's your bike.
Yes. Uh, so I also added image resize
Mhm.
and alignment.
Mhm.
It
Nice.
gives you, I think these things are, I think, basic expectations. But
Mhm.
now we have it. You can browse through
Mhm.
like you would expect, and you can do all the common
Zoom and
gestures.
pan. Mhm.
Yeah, you expect in an image gallery. I had a lot of fun building this.
Mhm. So where did you start basically before like even
Uh,
building this out? What was uh, I think you had a learning
Initially,
process, right? Yeah.
yeah. So
Mhm.
TipTap,
Mhm.
I mean, is open source, but
Mhm.
I think the premium extensions are uh, locked behind some subscription.
Mhm.
So
TipTap
all I
Pro.
had was
Mhm.
whatever that was open source,
Mhm.
and I think they have built a good set of extensions.
Mhm.
Uh, but I think some extensions did not have the experience I wanted.
Mm,
I don't know if I can show you now because I fixed the link extension. But basically, what I did was I tried to understand how Prose Mirror works because
mm,
uh, underneath
mm,
everything is done via Prose Mirror. So I
mm,
landed upon this documentation page and went through this whole page. So
mm,
this describes each and every, not each and every, but I think 80-90% of what you can do with Prose Mirror API. And it was in a guide format. So uh, it really, I think,
mm,
easy to go through.
mm,
So it has all the, what do you say, all the concepts that you would need
mm,
to build, manipulate anything related to text, rich text editing. They
mm,
can see the doc is talking about positions.
mm,
So what TipTap does is, so underlying it is a HTML document,
mm,
and each and every position, each and every character has a position,
mm,
and you can use that to manipulate. You can select ranges,
mm,
and then you can apply some decorations on that ranges. And you have
mm,
concept of slices. So yeah, it has all the. I think it's like a Swiss Army knife. You have everything,
mm,
but Prose Mirror doesn't actually ship with a working text editor.
mm,
So what it is, it gives you all the tools, and it has these examples in the documentation,
mm,
but it itself doesn't ship it with a working text
mm,
text editor.
mm,
And that is, I think, it mentioned somewhere in the documentation that the author expects the open source community to build upon this, and that is what has happened.
mm.
TipTap, I think, is one of the most popular projects that is built upon Prose Mirror. But I
Close
think,
mirror. Mhm,
yeah, Atlassian editor also uses Prose Mirror and bunch of others.
mhm,
So once I went through this documentation, I was slightly more comfortable working with that, with this. And
mhm,
also, I should, uh, what do you say? I think a good chunk of my understanding was also improved by using tools like GitHub Copilot.
mm.
So that is what we are going to try to build something here.
Yeah.
So
So
what I
yeah,
want to do is,
we'll only get to know the process when we actually see you build. Nice.
yes,
So in the meantime, I will just share that documentation link in the chat. Prose mirror.
shall we start now?
Yes. Let's start.
Okay, so first I'll describe what uh, trying to do here. So in long conversations like this, you usually want to select a piece of text and reply to that specific text. So the way currently people do is select something and then convert it into a block quote.
Yeah.
So this is how people quote someone's text and then reply to it, something like this.
Yeah.
But here, I think the issue is you don't know who, uh, not who, but in a long conversation, you often lose track of where this text was taken from.
Hmm.
and you can't easily navigate back to it.
Yep.
So I think there's a nice uh, feature on discourse. Not sure if I can find it.
Yeah, here.
Yeah. So here, I think you can quote someone's text. You also get the author name here.
Hmm.
Then you can click on it to jump to that message. This
Hmm.
is something I'm trying to do here.
Hmm.
And Discourse uses Markdown, so it's a different format. I don't
Hmm.
want my users to learn Markdown just to do this.
Hmm. Hmm. So yeah, we are going to build a
So
TipTap extension which will let users quote on existing text on any of the posts or replies.
yes. So what I want to be able to do is select something, and then
Hmm.
some button should pop up here.
Hmm.
I click on it.
Hmm.
It should be added to the comment
Hmm.
as a rich embedding,
Hmm.
and then contains the text. I can go on writing with my reply the way
Hmm.
I want,
Hmm.
and then submit, and then I should be able to click it to
Hmm.
go back to
Original
the
position where this
position.
text works. Nice.
Yes. So I haven't seen any existing TipTap uh, extension that does this.
Hmm.
So yeah, let's try. So first of all, I think that's a what I try to do is my uh, workflow is first try to find some extension that does this or does this in a similar way.
Hmm.
So if you click on if you're writing something, so let's say you select some text. So you see this bubble menu.
Hmm.
Right? This is what we want, but this is in edit mode. We want this to be shown in non-edit mode,
Hmm.
right? So my first instinct was to go look at how this bubble menu is implemented.
Hmm.
So I did that. Uh,
This is the TipTap GitHub repo.
this is a TipTap GitHub repo, and
Hmm.
it has a bunch of packages.
Hmm.
This is the one I was looking for. So here I figured out that it is using something called as plugin view.
Hmm.
And then I found it here in close mirror reference.
Hmm. Hmm.
So it has this. So plugin view has update and destroy function.
Hmm.
So that's a good start.
Hmm.
So now let's try to do this. What I want is when first, if we break down the steps,
Hmm. Can you
uh,
zoom in?
select a piece
Yeah, thanks.
of text and a code button should show a floating coordinate system.
Yep.
Click on the code button to add the piece of text in a new comment.
Hmm.
Uh, the piece of text converts into a rich word embedding.
Hmm.
So here, I mean, I'm just describing how I want the feature to work. And this is
Mm-hmm.
important when you're working with uh, tools like Copilot.
Mm-hmm.
I think if anything, it what it does is uh, forces you to think clearly about what you are trying to build.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, usually it's
So
good to break down the task into easily tangible. Okay, first we get this and then we can go to this step and this one. Always helps.
yeah,
Mm.
let's call it rich code.
Rich code. Nice.
We already have a block code which
Yeah, yeah,
doesn't
it's like,
have any information.
yeah, to the point. Blender Forever says user specific highlight will also be good, like the one in Medium. Oh, I think so. The user can highlight any piece and then keep it for their notes or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, you could try to build it after this. That would be a good hacking session.
yes. So first of all, I'll just set up the structure.
Mhm.
So I have a text editor component in game time, which internally imports the text editor from Flutter UI,
Mm-hmm.
and we are passing extensions because the text SAP UI text editor takes a prop with a list of extensions,
Extensions.
and we can now build a rich code
Yeah, because it
extension
doesn't
here.
make sense to add it to Frappe UI as such, right? It's a
Yeah,
very
for now.
specific for now. Mhm.
If I mean we figured out a way to make this generic, then we can put it. But first, we'll build it here.
Cool.
So now I want this to be.
I'll be back in a sec.
I think it is. It will be
Yeah.
uh, two extensions. The way I can think of it, this will be one extension which just shows the floating button,
Mm-hmm.
and then on clicking the floating button,
Mm-hmm.
we'll add the new rich embedding.
So that embedding will be a separate extension.
Yes.
Okay.
So let me think. I'll describe how I want this to be,
Oh, you're
and I'll
directly inside
add the
Copilot.
relevant context.
Mm.
Yes. So we have, we don't need package this on. We only need two files
Mm-hmm.
as context.
So which model are you using? Gemini 2.5 Pro.
2.5 Pro. I
Mm.
think it's the best
Okay.
currently. I was using Claude
Mm-hmm.
3.7,
Mm-hmm.
but currently 2.5 Pro is the best in code.
And it's cheaper as well, to my surprise.
Extension.
Mm.
I'm not sure about that, but it has a long context window
Yeah, yeah,
and faster as well than Claude 3.7.
nice. So yeah, silently, so Google was behind all this, right? Like Claude and this OpenAI were running fast, and then Google silently came and kept releasing these models, and now they are like on
Yeah.
top, at least top three, I guess. For TipTap, I want to be able to. Select a piece of text.
Piece of text in the editor while it is in non-editable state and a floating button with two dots. Let's see. What I've seen is the more
Mm-hmm.
specific
Mm-hmm.
instruction you give, the faster it can give you the output. So I
Hmm.
think this is slightly vague.
Hmm.
Now it is up to the uh, model to think what tools it can use.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try it again. Use those mirrors plugin view.
So Blender Forever says Notebook LM is another Google product that I find very useful, summarizing docs, article, even videos, etc. Yeah, it's quite good. So I recently Gavin wrote an article on framework. It was a very long article. What I did was I gave it to Notebook LM and it generated a nice interactive podcast. And they have this new feature where you can join in the podcast and you can talk to the other two hosts. Oh, it's like superb.
Yeah, I saw that. There's a
Yeah.
Verge video also.
There is a voice.
Verge video about
Ah,
this.
uh-huh.
So yeah, it built something.
Okay. Floating quote button
It's
view. Mm-hmm. Okay. Should we try and
and
use it
yeah,
as is
and just
first?
yeah, yeah, yeah. And just test if it works or not.
Mm.
What is it for? First, we'll have to accept it. Okay. Which code extension?
Mm.
Okay, it broke, so something is working.
Okay.
Yes. So when you see it, the positioning is weird.
Hmm.
Why is it weird?
You might need to refine it,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Let me see if we have something. Do we have floating line? No. I think we have PP. I think
TPJS, yeah.
PP.js. I can ask it to use TPDS to handle the
Hmm.
positioning. By the way,
Hmm.
uh, if you noticed, once I added this, use
Hmm.
Rose Mirror's plugin view, it was able to come up with the response really fast.
Hmm.
Before this, it was thinking a lot.
Hmm. Yeah, the more specific instructions you give, the easier it is for the LLM to then uh, generate response. Makes sense. So it has add necessary imports with that. Okay. Mm-hmm. Hmm. You're just reviewing it.
Yes, I am full-time code reviewer now. Uh, let's see. You don't need this CSS, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if the positioning is better.
Yeah, CSS.
PPDS.
So this would have been much harder if you were just wipe coding. You had no context about the project.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I mean, if it is not clear, what I'm
Hmm.
trying to also say is you have to know which tool you're using. You can't just blindly go into it.
Hmm. So what are your
If you're
thoughts
vibe
on this
coding,
whole projects being prompted out?
I mean, in my experience, doesn't work. If you don't know each and every line, if you don't understand each and every line that the LLM generates for you,
Hmm.
it'll, I mean, it's not, it's not good uh, for the project's future. You will, you will face some kind of problem. You won't be able to fix it.
Hmm.
See, here I knew that this is not needed, so I immediately commented it out,
Hmm. Hmm.
and it still works, right?
Yeah, is it like working okay? Now it's the positioning is the positioning better?
Yeah, I mean, it shows up on the center.
Hmm.
It shows up on the center, whatever you select.
Nice.
So
Nice.
it's much, much nicer.
Nice.
So I think we have completed the first part of
Hmm.
it. Also, just sprints out one click. That's a good.
Start, yeah. And we might not to we might have to also handle this piece where maybe they are selecting multiple blocks. Let's say it also includes an image, then we'll have to render the whole piece, right, as a quote. So
Yeah.
if you're selecting the whole thing with the quote, with the quote below, no, no, so select the
Okay.
rich part of it. Yeah, select,
This one.
yeah, 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 select this. If you quote, does it give you the rich styling or just the,
No, it doesn't.
uh,
We have to handle that. So I
hmm,
think it only extracts the text,
hmm,
but
hmm,
we
hmm,
want the rich text part of it.
hmm,
Let's see. So here it is extracting text between two positions. I
Hmm.
think this is text between is prose mirror API.
Hmm.
What we need is we can ask it what we need. So another thing I like to do is once the specific piece of thing I wanted to implement is done,
Hmm.
I start a new fresh uh, chat so
Why?
that we don't.
Hmm.
So now we start with token length 0.
Hmm.
In the previous one, I mean, it had 2 to 3 files as context, and then it also generated a bunch of text, and it also generated a bunch of code.
Hmm.
All of that takes up token uh,
Yeah, the
takes up
context
token
window.
length in
Hmm.
the context window.
Hmm.
So okay, when I click record button, it should extract. No, currently it
Only extracts the
audio
text.
call extracts only the text content. It should give the rich text content, including HTML tags.
What does it say? DOM serializer from schema. Okay. I was reading the plan. And here's the plan. Okay. Create a slice.
So
This is
we
dot
decided
dot.
to create a slice.
Hmm. Which is a
I think that's
fragment of
correct.
the DOM element. Yeah, it does make sense. So ultimately, what we want is something we can give back to TipTap in non in edit mode, and then it should be able to render as is.
Yes, we shall try this and open.
TipTap slash PM slash model. Hmm.
Let's see if it is available.
What if it hallucinated?
That is your job to fix it. That is what I'm trying to do.
Hmm.
So let's see. So I know that TipTap has these what do you say aliases for internal prose mirror packages.
Mm-hmm.
So this is alias for prose mirror model. So I'm just trying to see if you can directly import from prose mirror model.
Oh, the
Yeah,
PM stands for Prose Mirror. Now I get it.
yes. So now it works.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I can also see the rich text.
Yeah, yeah, even the href and everything is now there. Nice.
So I get this.
Block
Yeah,
quote.
it
Good.
contains the block code as well.
Nice.
This is what we want.
Hmm. Nice.
So now we somehow need to pass it over to the uh, second extension, which will take this content and put it in the comment
Hmm.
uh, as a rich embedding.
Hmm.
And
So
first part
can
is
two
done.
extensions talk to each other, or how does it work?
Yes,
Hmm.
yes, they can. So what? So what we just did
Mm-hmm.
is something I don't know what Prose Mirror calls it, but
Hmm.
it's a feature that has nothing to do with the actual content of the editing,
Hmm.
right? It is an interaction.
Hmm.
I interacted with the text and this showed up.
Hmm.
So maybe, let's say, someone in the chat was asking, we want user highlights.
Hmm.
So you can do this right here.
Hmm.
You select something, you make this a highlight button, and then you handle it uh, in some highlight extension.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
there are
makes
two
sense.
parts here. One
Hmm.
is interacting with the text, and the
Mm-hmm.
second part is if you want to modify the content itself, then you are talking about uh, new nodes, decorations,
Mm-hmm.
and whatever Prosemira has. So, for example, there are node types.
Hmm.
So this, let me close this, close this. So there are node types like paragraph, text, and then links, and then images. All of these are node types.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you select something and mark it as bold, it is a mark. It's called a mark. So you can select some text, and so marks are like inline, like strong, emphasis,
Emphasis.
underline. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I think link is also a mark, if I'm not wrong.
Inline formatting kind of like.
Yes.
Okay.
So now we are talking about uh, adding different kind of content inside the content. So now we have to, so for example, if you want to add a rich text embedding, now we have to build that node type,
Mm-hmm.
a new node type that
Hmm.
uh, Mirror can understand.
Yeah. Then it will be able to render it. So Adil says, hi, are you using V15 or dev branch for this? Doesn't matter right now because we aren't
This
interacting
is
with the backend or
latest.
framework yet. Hmm.
I mean, if you have to give you the exact correct answer,
Yeah.
I'm on API V2 Fixes branch, which
So,
contains some improvements in the API V2
mhm,
that I'm using in game plan.
mhm. Yeah, so it's mostly develop, a fork of develop.
Yes,
Yep.
it's the bleeding edge of bleeding edge. Uh, okay, so now we need to add that node type here,
Mhm.
which is this part. I think we have achieved this. No, we haven't done this, but we need to build the node first.
Mhm.
Now let's start again.
Hmm. Yeah, I noticed the
Uh,
pattern now. One piece is done, you go to a new window and
yes,
then start from scratch.
this is why I'm against one-shot building of
Hmm.
projects. I
Hmm.
mean, even this whole thing that you're building is a small part of the project, and even that I'm trying
Hmm.
to build step by step.
Hmm.
Uh, Build a new node type as a TipTap extension. It is similar to block code, but it will use uh, so maybe you can use block code itself with a data, what is it? Data code,
Hmm.
user code, something.
Hmm.
I haven't thought about this, but
So we
I have
need to
some
store some
code
information, right?
ID.
What? So port ID
Yes,
is fine,
so
but
that
we
it
also
is,
need to go back to the original, uh, whatever
yes.
post is, right?
So
Hmm.
let's focus on building this node, and
Hmm.
we can add the extra data. First of all, I'll just add it like this: data port ID.
Hmm.
We'll call it which port. Uh, HTML tag. It
But
can contain
how will then
any
we be
valid.
able to differentiate from actual block code? Because the tags are same. Then we'll have to get an
No,
iterate over with it. Mhm.
the default block code won't have this thing.
Okay, using this
That's how
attribute.
it will be able to.
Okay.
Yes, it can contain any valid rich text. Something. Don't should be good enough. Let's also create the files for it. I think what I've seen is it can create a new file as well,
Mm-hmm.
but I like to give it the structure because then I don't have to move around files the way I want.
Mm-hmm.
I'll call it rich code node extension. And I'll give it text editor. Let's see.
Nice. So yeah, 13 people are watching. If you have any questions, you can ask in the chat. I am constantly monitoring it. Jeffrey Youngman said hi from Accra, Ghana. Hello. Hmm.
So I forgot to add that inside the block code, it should not be editable.
Hmm. Correct.
So we have to handle it somehow. Inside the rich block code, editing should not be allowed inside the rich.
I think even Discuss doesn't do it. So you will be able to edit it in Discuss.
Yes, I think on Discourse you can edit
Yeah.
because it's simple markdown.
Hmm.
We can already see how it is trying to handle it.
Hmm.
The I think bad part of code generated by LLMs is
Hmm.
everything looks right, but it may not it may not necessarily be right.
Yeah.
So you have to verify. Default block code is 50, 30, 51. So see, this is how it is trying to
Hmm.
fight parsing of block code versus. So I think if this uh, this is lower in priority, so
Hmm.
it will convert. No, so if the normal default block code is parser runs before this, then it will convert all the rich code to the normal block code. That is
Hmm.
not what we want.
Hmm.
And we'll see how we'll handle it when we face it.
Kiran Harbak says if LLM's hallucinating, add please to prompt. And those please and thank yous cost millions to OpenAI.
Okay. So we see you were asking
Hmm.
how extensions can talk
Hmm. Hmm.
with each other. The way, the clean way to do it is through commands.
Hmm.
So each extension can register a bunch of commands.
Hmm. Hmm.
For example, this extension will add set rich quote or toggle rich quote, these commands. And
Hmm.
then the floating quote button extension that we created, it can directly call the commands. So basically, it doesn't have knowledge about the rich code
Hmm.
extension, but it can basically, if we have the editor object, do we have
Hmm.
it? This is editor view. Let me see. This not editor view. No, it doesn't have.
Hmm.
So if we had the editor object, we could do set rich code, something like that.
Okay, so it registers at the editor level itself, the commands, whatever
Yes.
extension provide. Got it.
And now we need to figure out how to get to editor.
Hmm.
But yeah, one step at a time.
Yep.
So it added it here. So we want that. And then this looks right. We will verify. The attributes,
So can we now ask it to use both of this and somehow uh,
we
make
can
them
ask
work
it.
together?
We can ask it, but
Hmm.
let's take a step back and see.
Hmm.
First, I want to verify if this works or not.
Hmm. How will we
So the
verify
way I'll
this?
do it is just here. So we have the editor here.
Hmm.
And let's put it into window.
Hmm.
Now, but we want this one. Not
So
sure
we,
which. So
which one? Okay, there are multiple instances of the editor
yeah,
and you
so
want to know.
we have this and this and this. We have three instances of text editor. We don't know which one it will
Hmm.
set. So better way is to go to the comments area, comment editor. Yeah.
Hmm.
We have commands dot set. Let me know if the font size
Yeah,
is
a little
okay.
bit bigger. Yeah, that's fine now.
So you'll see all the commands registered here. So it
Hmm.
all contains
Set
the
image, set
standard commands.
mode,
Yeah, so here is ours.
set rich codes. Nice. So it's working. It's at least registering the command.
Yes.
Now we have to pass in something.
I think set rich code will work on some node.
Hmm.
So for this is some content. So it can turn this into a rich code.
Hmm. So how do we access that?
Most find it supports only text block nodes. So this is not correct.
Hmm.
So got the quote ID.
But what is set node doing then?
So the node that I selected,
Mm-hmm.
it is a paragraph node.
Mm-hmm.
So it is converting it into a rich quote node,
Okay.
and it says it can't do it. So I'll just put the error here.
Hmm.
So meanwhile, I'll check how block quote works.
Okay.
TipTap, GitHub. Then we'll see similarity. We set block quote, toggle, and unset. You'll see it is written in a similar way.
Hmm. Parse HTML, render HTML. Set block quote is wrap in.
It calls a
Okay.
wrap in.
Hmm.
So let's find out what is wrap in.
Commands dot wrap in.
I'll look at this. Yes.
Wrap the selection in a node of the given type with the
I
given
think this is what we
attributes.
want.
Yes.
This is what we want.
Hi, Python
Let's see if
technician.
let's see if this can figure it out. No, I think it is doing something complicated.
Yeah, yeah, it's
I
like
don't think this is what
doing
we want.
undo, please.
So we can just delete this because I think it did the changes multiple times. So we can delete the recent changes
Mm-hmm.
by just deleting the text.
Hmm.
And we'll try wrap in. Set block code is wrap in this dot name.
Yeah, also attributes it takes, I think,
Yes.
as per the reference. Yes.
Yes. So instead of this, we'll use this. This is set rich port for toggle wrap, toggle wrap.
Unset is lift.
I think left was suggested by Gemini also.
Yep. And this also becomes this dot name. So, okay.
What does rich left take?
Split the content from its parent. If there is a sibling content before or after that, and move it up the tree to the depth specified by the target, you will probably use to make sure the lift is valid. Okay. Yeah, it's bringing. So basically, it's unwrap kind of. Which.
Yeah,
Hmm.
let's see if this works now. Yes.
Nice.
See, it added the
The
data rich
ID.
port ID.
Nice.
So if I put the cursor here
Hmm.
and run the command for unset, I think it will work.
Hmm. Yes. Works.
Then toggle also will work. Toggle is rich port.
Hmm.
Awesome.
Nice.
But I'm able to edit.
Yeah, but at
That's
least,
an issue.
yep, it's working. Editable false. Add this line. You've already added this line.
Clearly did not work. So this is what is this? Node. Want to see documentation for this. Atom. I think
Hmm.
atom
What is that term?
can be set to true to
Hmm.
indicate that
Though
though
is it?
this isn't a leaf node, it doesn't have directly editable content. This
Okay.
is, I think, what we
Yeah,
want.
exactly what we want.
Let's see. The block code is changed.
Okay.
If we do this,
Hmm.
it is still editable. Anyway, first we'll make it look slightly
Yeah, different from the default block code.
different than the block code.
Hmm.
So if I so one thing that you can do
Mm-hmm.
in close mirror, what happens?
Spirit of Tsushima. Hello. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing your name correct.
So the image uh,
Mm-hmm.
extension I was talking about originally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Uh, so it is also similar. I mean, it is a new node,
Mm-hmm.
and you can define the parse and render.
Mm-hmm.
So parse is when HTML document from the database is uh, sent to the text editor,
Mm-hmm.
and then it will parse in each and every HTML tag. And if it is valid, if it is recognized by
Mm-hmm.
extensions,
Mm-hmm.
it will be converted into a whatever this prose mirror schema. And then after you submit, when you want to extract the HTML content, it will
Mm-hmm.
run the render HTML.
Mm-hmm.
So made changes in the schema. It will convert it back to whatever the format that is understood by prose mirror.
Okay.
And that's how these two things work. But
Mm-hmm.
there's a third thing.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, I input an image. So you see these controls, right, in the image.
Yes.
So these are only useful in the context of editing.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't need to store this in the database, and you don't. And if the actual rich text content contains buttons like these, you don't want to accept that,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense. It
Mm-hmm.
is only relevant in the context of editing in the editor.
Okay. So how do
So
you
for
inject them in?
yeah, so what you can do is you can also create a node view.
Mm-hmm.
So what it will do is for specific nodes, for example, image, you can render the same node using a rich node view. For example, here we are using a view component.
Mm-hmm.
So you can use a view component
Yeah, that's
to
very
render
flexible then.
specific node.
That makes it
Yes.
very powerful.
So if you see here,
Mm-hmm.
so in the editor itself,
Mm-hmm.
I'll show you, it starts here.
Mm-hmm.
So if I didn't add the node view, it would, let me just show that. If I remove this,
Mm-hmm.
and if you see, it is just an image tag,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't see any of the controls.
Yeah, it's not interactive because it's just rendering the image tag as is, and the HTML image tag doesn't have any of these controls.
Yes.
Nice.
But if I add the image node view, it magically converts into an interactive component.
Mm-hmm.
So that's very powerful. So you can
Nice.
add any kind of uh, what do you say, view component, and it won't be, you don't have to worry about cleaning it up
Hmm.
for the final HTML render, because all of that is handled by ProseMirror.
Yes.
So we'll do similar thing for the rich code extension. So basically we need this, and view node renderer comes from TipTap.
I'll be back in a minute. You
Mm,
can continue.
okay, and create rich code node view. Filling is good. I think we'll get the attributes, for example, the data quote ID, and then we have to wrap it using this. This comes from here. Now we can render it the way we want. Data rich quote ID.
Yep, I'm
And
back.
here we get the attribute.
So you're building the component now, the interactive.
Yes, we'll get the node dot attribute dot, I think, quote ID. And here, I think some kind of node view content, I think it is called.
Kind of like a slot.
Yes, let's see if this works.
Mm.
Yes. So we are getting the block code style from Tailwind typography styles.
Mm-hmm.
We can opt out of that using, if we do not pros.
Oh, this I didn't knew. Today I learned. This is cool.
Yes.
Because I always felt that
Somehow,
okay, when you apply the pros, it is for everything, and then you have to reverse
no.
style it.
So in specific parts, you
Mm-hmm.
can remove it.
Mm-hmm.
But here, somehow, after refresh, we lose the,
Ah, the quote
why
ID.
is it?
Then it becomes a normal block code.
So now we don't get the styling. Return don't get HTML. HTML contains it. I don't know why we are losing.
Maybe
Oh,
that priority thing.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, let's make it uncommented. Why does it like it knows that so it's doubtful
Yeah,
once it is keeping it in comment that okay, you
yes.
figure it out.
Let's see if it works. Yes,
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
So now we can design it the way we want.
cool.
Let me just put some BG surface. Three, maybe three.
Mhm. Two looks good.
Border outline, some border.
Mhm. Yep.
Is the border not being applied?
I can't see the border. Color border outline
Oh,
gray 3. No, no. So
only the
border
color
width.
is applied.
Yeah, yeah.
I have to
Border
add.
width. Yeah, I've been bit by this before.
Yes. So now it is too dark. Yes.
Good.
Something like this. I think now we also want the author, right? We want to
Yeah, yeah. We
render
need
the
avatar plus the name somehow.
and quote ID. Okay, one step at a time. We'll
Yeah.
only add avatar first. So similar to this, we'll call it author,
Mhm.
beta author.
Yeah, and as far as I know, game plans data structure, you just need the user ID of that person, and then you'll be able to
Yes.
get the avatar and everything. But how do you fetch it? Then you will have to see who is the author of that post. That needs to be passed from that port.
Yeah, I haven't thought about how to do
Hmm.
it from the floating button, but
Hmm.
I'm just making this work.
Yeah, currently we can do it from console and try if it works. Mhm.
Let's just node Olympiad's author. Or these are user ID here.
Hussein at frappe.io.
Okay.
No, try
Okay, we
Arcanist.
get.
No, it's passing there, but yeah, it might be this
I
one.
mean, we won't know
Hmm.
that we can change.
Hmm.
Let me render it using user avatar. So we lost, did we lose the author?
Yes.
Yes.
Some bug. Invalid type check. Okay. for user expected string. Oh,
It is passing
because we
undefined.
lost
That
the
is fine.
author. Yeah. Ah, wait. Yeah, I think I got it. Go
Takes
back.
user string.
Go back.
That is fine.
It's atters dot author.
Oh, this should be author.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Yes, we got it.
Yeah, and I think it's TRP next. Uh,
Okay.
yeah. Yes.
Yes. Now we can just put it like node. This is not needed. Okay. Let's see.
Mm. So
Yes.
padding will be required in that one. Mm.
Why is there space? Okay, because of that. Yeah, this is good enough.
Yep. Let's try with some rich text.
Now the issue is,
Mhm.
first of all, this shouldn't be editable.
Hmm. So can we do it in the node view that we created now?
Thinking if we let's see what defining means.
Defining.
The mind level is not is considered important for not leading to case operations. Not sure. Let's try.
Mm.
Doesn't affect
Even
editing.
even that is editable.
One thing that we can do is
Mm.
disable editing from the node view.
Does node view wrapper have anything that prevents?
If we call it, if we wrap it in a button,
Mm. Now styles are
now
gone, but
it is not editable.
mm.
And anyway, we want the button.
Mm.
I click will do something. And reset.
Hmm.
This is good enough, I think.
Yeah, they won't be able to edit. Are they able to? Why is the cursor going there?
Yes.
This won't solve our problem.
What extension does this? You know, let's see how image is done.
Add input rules. What was that? At the last, the very end of this file.
This is if you type the markdown syntax for image, it
Okay.
will convert it into an image.
Hmm. Got it.
I think this doesn't have, we don't, but image doesn't have content inside. We want something that has content inside. It's not relatable.
Even YouTube won't have content inside.
We can search.
Document. No. Table header.
But it is editable.
Yeah. Table cell is also editable.
About this.
What are the other options we can put in here in the content?
Basically, what is allowed inside the content. So if we don't put this,
Hmm.
we won't be able to put the rich text content inside.
Hmm. Can we search Google?
What about draggable?
Without being selected. That is selectable. If you make it unselectable, what will happen? Yeah, this could work. Yeah, if they can't select it, they can't edit it. Maybe.
Anyway, I think
Hmm.
we'll park that for now. Let's build the other thing,
Hmm.
connecting
So
both
what
these
happens if I
extensions.
submit it right now? Will it be as is?
Yeah,
Nice.
something wild has happened. I don't know what is this. Okay. Right.
The whole UI is broken. Hmm.
It's an issue. Let's see what changes up. That fixed it.
What?
Defining,
Okay.
flipped it to true. No,
No.
not those. In repositories.
No.
This was entirely unexpected.
So what are you doing? Like PNPM enabled workspaces.
This was it deletes node modules and installs it again.
Hmm.
Uh, I can see some errors here.
Hmm. Rich code extension, rich code.
Yeah, no.
No. What is the issue?
Welcome to web development. What the- Okay, so it is outside the HTML boundary.
Hmm.
Trying to find out if maybe it is because of this. Yes.
Yep.
Okay. It is
Tippy.
because of TP. Maybe that was required.
There is a uncommented commented out code where it is handling Tippy.
No, I think it is TP styles. It says optional, but let's see.
It's unable to import it.
Okay, first I need to find out whether this exists or not.
Tippy.css.
TPJS, this TP.css. should be fine. But this is game plan, so maybe I'll just install it. I was sure this was not required, but I'll have to check it again. For now, I don't want to handle this.
No, I think
Yeah.
what is happening is this, right? This needs, this should have gone away with the code button. Why is it here? See?
Wait, because of the code button?
Yeah, yeah. Can we go and check the code where it is using Tippy? I think it has a commented out code at the, yeah, here, see, or even below there.
This?
No, no. Where is it? Yeah, yeah, Tippy. It's not hide. Works, right? No,
No.
it should delete, remove it somehow. So when even after, yeah, inset auto margin zero transform 3D. This transform.
Yeah, it is doing something.
Mhm.
It shouldn't be
Yeah, Tippy.
doing that.
Something to the Tippy instance we have to do. Oh, like we need to hide even if it they didn't do any action. Why is it? So it should auto hide. I don't know. Something related to hide is the issue.
No, so this
Mhm.
this thing is
Mouse down,
run
yeah.
in the mouse down event.
Mhm.
That we don't need. Maybe append to what is the problem?
Hmm.
We don't need arrow.
Trigger is manual. Show hide manually.
If we put this somewhere inside, no. No, I
So,
think I have to handle it.
hmm.
We'll ignore it for now.
Hmm. Most probably the issue is with like this manual, right? Trigger manual. So we have to hide it manually. Otherwise, TP would hide it automatically.
Maybe.
Yeah. Try removing that. Comment out.
What is the default trigger then? Yeah, no,
Yeah. Still doesn't work.
it doesn't.
Now it's triggering as soon as you hover, maybe. Yeah.
That is not what we want.
Hmm. It's fine. We can take a look later.
And we definitely don't need this.
Hmm. Somehow that HTML node should have gone away.
Yes. On outside click, 70p from hiding when clicking the button itself. I don't click, could be true, right? Yes, that fixed it.
Hmm. Click on code. Yeah, it hides. It's fine.
Yes, this was the issue.
Hmm.
I think if this wasn't fixed with TP, I would have used some other positioning library.
Hmm.
Cool.
Okay. We lost Faris. Let him be back. Till then, I'm here. So yeah, let me just message him. Hmm. Hopefully, he's not talking and doing stuff while we are offline. Nice. So yeah, in the meantime, let me just check. So for the first time, I'm doing a batch in Hindi. Frappe framework. Yeah, a few seats are left out of 50 seats. So yeah, Faris is back. Can you hear me? Yeah, you were asking?
I can hear you.
Yes.
Masking, shall we continue?
Yeah, yeah, now you can continue.
Okay. So I'll just connect this button with this
Mm-hmm.
comment thing
Mm-hmm.
and then we'll wrap up.
Yes.
So
Maybe we should also do the author or the post linking. So on click it goes there. That will
yes.
complete the loop. Yeah.
So the way I want this to happen is in discussion view. We have the content. Where is it? In comment editor. So inside this, it contains the text editor. This.
Hmm.
And somehow we'll have to use some kind of event bubbling.
Mm-hmm.
Can we trigger
So
some
what are
kind
we
of
trying to
event?
do? We want
So here,
when the quote is
I
clicked.
want to trigger
Hmm.
an event.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Editor
this
view
is
dot
what
dispatch. Okay.
we will ask it to do. Trigger an event with the selected HTML. What methods do we have?
Dispatch event. Is
Dispatch
it for
used for
testing?
testing, maybe in
Dispatches
office.
transaction. New custom event.
Okay. Dispatch event says it used for testing. So what I know about
Mm-hmm.
Rose Mirror, it has these events
Mm.
on change, on update, on focus, on blur. And this is directly passed to the editor.
Mm-hmm. So Kiran Harbak says a couple of points I'd like to suggest. I love this series with Faris and I hope you continue them. Also, could you start a series with Gavin and Ankush, delving deeper into Frappe core? Let me see what I can do. Ankush is very hard to catch. Super busy and doing very hard things in engineering. Inspiring. But yeah, let me see if I could get Gavin for a guest episode first. And as per continuing this series, I think we will continue.
Editor view, DOM, dispatch event. Let's see if this can get which on which port. Yeah, which port selected is okay. I don't think I get it here.
Mm.
I think,
So this on blur, on focus, all of these events are from the Prose Mirror editor.
not sure if it is browser or the chat. This is the class that takes it, and that is imported from TipTap 3. We can check out the code. Let's do that. On update. So, okay, it's on the editor itself.
Mm.
Okay, I think
So editor state, so the code suggested by Copilot was that line, right? In the floating menu. Where is it? Yeah, DOM. So even before this, it had a line of code where it was dot state dot something. The first version it gave. This was after editing thing.
Yeah.
Mm.
Now,
Wait.
are you suggesting something?
Yeah, yeah. Earlier it had some editor view dot state. So it
No,
had
that
the state.
was. Let's console log and check. Event. Um, which, which, so, it contains DOM.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we can get access to this.
State. See, that's the editor state. Then probably we can get. So dispatch is directly in there. See, but where do we capture it?
Should come up here somehow. Or, okay, one thing that we can do
Mm-hmm.
is, okay, I have an idea.
Okay.
We'll just provide a function here on whatever it's for selected, something like this.
Hmm.
I want floating quote button to take a fallback, which will be called on press of the quotes button with the selected HTML content. Yes. We were looking for complicated solutions and it can be done in a better way.
Hmm.
Yeah, so we just accept an option.
Hmm.
Not this one.
Now we can pass in the comment editor or pass in an event from that comment editor wherever we are calling it, and then okay,
Yes.
got it.
We don't need this part.
Hmm. And this is
We
because
just
we are playing around with multiple editors, so we won't have access to one editor inside the other. Got it. That is why it was like a bit confusing.
yes, yes.
Hmm.
So this should work. Spot on code stress. That is fine for now. Just call it on code press and it should Things are breaking. I think there should be confidence. I'm not wrong. Yes. If I press this,
HTML. Yep.
we get the HTML.
Yes.
Now we are again get enough anything else.
Your internet is breaking up.
Yeah, switch to phone internet. Did I
Yeah, better.
switch?
NetChamp Wi-Fi, 5 gigahertz. So yeah, we are almost 2 hours into the stream now. So yeah, today's stream quality didn't go as good as I wanted to. Faris is back.
I
Your screen
you were
you have
saying?
to reshare, I guess. Cool. Works now.
I think we are almost done.
Hmm.
Now we just need to pass it here.
Hmm.
So see, this is how we integrate those two functionalities.
Hmm. Now where does this
So
on
the
code
way,
press? Okay, now we have to take it as a prop to this.
so I'll just emit this
Hmm.
on.
Oh yeah, the other way around. So now we are emitting this to whoever the parent is. In this case, it's the comment editor.
Even here, I will just on rich code, I'll emit it.
We are bubbling it up.
Yes.
Was it rich code or rich code press? What was it? Rich
So
code.
here I
Cool, cool,
renamed it,
cool, cool.
called it rich code, and then here, and then here. So this, I think yes, yes. So I'm bubbling it up to the component where it contains all the comments and discussions.
Mm-hmm.
So handle rich code function. Yes, and
Emit is not a
okay,
function.
we got it. But it still, no, it didn't work.
Hmm.
I think I know why. This won't work here.
Hmm.
Now here. Yes, we got
No
it.
discussion view.
Somehow we are getting it two times.
Yeah. How? Um,
Yeah,
okay,
it works now.
cool. What was the issue? I didn't catch it.
I
Why we
just,
were getting it two times?
I don't know. I think I did not define it as an emit event.
Mhm.
Now it works.
Cool.
And so basically, the floating button that we created
Mhm.
works in this editor,
Mhm.
and then using that data, we transfer it to a new editor.
Mhm.
So that's how these two extensions work together.
Mhm. Now we just have
So
to
basically, what we need to do is in the new comment, where is it?
use the commands dot that thing. We have to
Yes,
create a new node first, I think, right? With that HTML and then wrap it in the rich code.
we- looking for, okay, so it's inside the comments area. We'll expose it in the editor, comment editor, new comment editor.
Mhm.
I'm just trying to do it in a hacky way. You can claim it as later.
Yeah, we can get it working and then you can clean it up later. That is fine.
Define expose. Just exposing this,
Mhm.
or rather, we'll expose the editor object. That is what we need.
Mhm. Mhm. Yep, we have.
Yes, I'll ask Gemini to do it
Mhm.
and give it the context of the, what is it called? The port mode extension. Handle that port. Okay. Give me contact. I want it to be inserted in the editor using editor object.
Mhm. In the current position. Suppose they have written some part and then the cursor is below that, maybe.
I think uh, okay. So I'll do this and so wrap the HTML content in with short node.
Let's see.
Basically, you'll have to do a lot of wiring,
Hmm.
and I think clarity of how you want to make the features work. That is
Mm-hmm.
very important.
Mm-hmm.
If you are not clear in your head, then LLM will also be as confused as you. Yeah.
What is it doing? Set rich code dot insert content dot run.
You want the author also to be set here.
Hmm.
For now, we'll set it to
Current user.
the session user.
But yeah, now like it's straightforward. You can just get it from the other editor, pass it from there
With
along with the
this,
event.
yes,
Nice.
it works.
Still editable, but works.
Yes. So
Can
yeah,
you just try
that is
selectable
how.
false? I have a hunch that it will fix it.
Okay,
Even if it doesn't, I
let's
will have peace of mind.
let's try it. Selectable. We don't have selectable.
We had like in the docs it showed. Yeah, property boolean.
Let's try it.
Refresh. Okay, no, it still works. Fine.
Yeah, we'll have to figure something out. But
Mhm.
I think what we
Mhm.
wanted to do
Hmm.
is done almost.
Yeah,
I think it
formatting and everything, everything is working.
works with.
So styling
Okay,
issues,
block
but
code did not work. Yeah,
can
because
it?
of not pros.
No pros, yeah.
Oh, so what I can do is I
Mm-hmm.
know this. We have to unswitch inside node view content. We just do
Pros
pros
again.
sm again. No, let's see.
Pros SM.
Should I go?
Pros SM. I think that is the issue.
Oh yes.
Yeah, something worked, but
No, but yeah, I'm sure this we can figure it out.
yeah, yeah. So now going
Yeah.
back on
Shall we
clipping,
wrap up?
everything is related to just passing in the right data from that emit.
So probably we want to store some kind of.
Mm-hmm.
So it created some kind of ID.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it has to be somehow linked to the specific part.
Yeah.
of the original text also.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we'll put something like uh, discussion, some kind of ID,
Mm-hmm.
379.
Mm-hmm.
So this would be the ID of the discussion or the comment,
Mm-hmm.
and then we can scroll it back.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
Cool. So I will turn off your screen share. Nice. So yeah, I think it was a very nice session. We almost now so a lot of work is still left. You'll have to clean up and wire stuff and get it done. But I think this is the start of the PR.
Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, does anybody have any questions or we will wrap up? Yep. So I had confetti, but I don't have it right now. Great. Alberto says great. Nice. So yeah, a couple of takeaways I think for me as well is how you used Copilot, right? Uh, Switching between new context window and then having the context yourself first. That okay, this is what I'm building, and Prose Mirror has this API, and then you understood the concept behind it, and then you were able to use Copilot to guide it in the right direction. And second was a general product, what do you say, you wanted good UX, and TipTap was kind of limiting, right? And then you went one layer deep to see what TipTap was actually built on Prose Mirror, and then you figured out how Prose Mirror works, and then it clicked, right? And now you are building extension after extension to improve the experience. That's
Yeah.
interesting. Hmm. Yeah, anything you would like to add
Yeah.
before we wrap up?
I mean, I've realized that Copilot or an LLM is as smart as your understanding
Hmm.
of the thing that you are trying to improve or work on.
Yep. So it as you can see, it does add a lot of value. Um, so it was able to code the initial version of the extension almost one shot, right? That um, first, and then we were able to say, okay, this the positioning is wrong, and we knew that okay, if we are using Tippy already in the project, why don't you use Tippy? Kind of like a junior engineer, though. Why don't you use Tippy? So, yeah.
Yes.
So Kiran says in the next session, would love to hear about how you handle the sockets at front end.
Okay.
Okay, we'll see. So you can have another session. We don't have a date, but we will have another session when Faris has something to again show. Maybe in framework, maybe in Frappe UI. Until then, thanks Faris for joining
Yeah.
in and walking us through this build session. And thanks everyone for joining. We'll see you in
Yeah.
probably next week. Bye bye.
Bye bye.